Hello everybody, thanks for landing on this page. I'm glad you're here. Let's take a quick review of the Fallkniven or Fallkniven A1. This is a survival style fixed blade from the company Fallkniven from Finland. These guys are putting out a lot of solid products, mostly of the fixed blade variety, although they do have some folders that I'm yet to try. So you know, ever since I began taking a closer look at the knives available to us mountain people, explorers, you know, backpackers, campers, this brand was mentioned quite a lot, Fallkniven. You know, it's compared often with some of the higher end fixed blades out there. Okay, this is always compared to the Bravo series and some of the Bark Rivers. Baker is often part of the discussion as well. So why is it so popular? Well, it took me a while to land on one. Number one, I just couldn't justify paying the purchase price. You know, that has changed with time, obviously, but they are pricey knives. But the quality that you get, the design and performance quickly remind you why they cost what they do. Okay, it's just a higher level of performance overall. Okay, so these knives are, I believe, made in Japan. So we have an A1 Fallkniven laminated VG10 blade steel, really thick. This is almost just a hair under a 1/4 inch thick, so really sturdy construction. Okay, the edge comes down to a convex style of edge, which is relatively easy to sharpen on the field with some rudimentary materials, but it's also quite strong. The advantage of convex edges is sharpness, but also toughness. So they tend to you know, endure a lot of abuse and keep ticking, which has been my experience. But before I expand on that, I wanted to tell you that the steel is comprised of a laminated variety of construction. So we have in the core VG10, which is a medium to high quality Japanese steel, and in the outside you have sandwiching the VG10 420 series stainless steels. I've had that steel in actual knife blades. I had a Kershaw Blade Trader, one of those replaceable style of knives that Kershaw used to put out, sell at Walmart, with 420J series of stainless steel. And you know, even though the company behind the product was really good, the edge holding just wasn't there. So it's intriguing that Fallkniven is using that steel in such a high quality piece. Whatever they do, merge it and fuse it with VG10 is working, because the performance of this knife is really good. So I think that's one of the pluses of the work that the company is doing. The final product of their lamination, it's really high, it's really good. Okay, so the blade is about 6.3 inches in length. The cutting edge is exactly 6 inches. The handle is barely enough for my large size hands, just barely enough. I wish I had a bit more, like 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch more of gripping surface, especially for gloves. Okay, but those are your specs. The weight is 11.2 ounces, so I'm getting close to 1 pound. Why is it so heavy? Well, it's heavy because of the amount of metal that we have. Look at that thickness, and look at the thickness, how it comes all the way to the back of the tank, which allows you to hammer, you know, hit that glass, hit that tent peg, hit that bear in the head, or hit yourself in the head when that bear is on top of you, so you can just pass out quickly. All right, so this knife has been with me in some really remote places, in some of the most remote trails of the Algonquin trail system, Algonquin Park system in Ontario. This is my choice whenever I go there. This is we're talking about snowy, wet conditions in the winter time, when your knife is what you have to build a fire. You know, especially after backpacking so many kilometers and miles, you're not gonna carry an axe. So this is my choice when I go into those situations. Benchmade Leku in the back here is quietly listening to the conversation, saying, I'm also capable, have a better steel, and I'm a lot more lightweight, probably like half your weight. Consider me taking me, please. Take me. I have no doubt that this guy right here, the Becker BK16, would perform, you know, with the limits of its size. It's a little bit smaller, right? but 1095, although it will rust on you, is not going to break. So you could argue that it's almost as strong as this guy with a lot less weight. And probably superior handle ergonomics. So the reason why I have these two in the bag is because, you know, they are worthy comparisons, right? Whenever you want to go to one of those remote areas where your knife simply cannot fail, well, consider those guys over there. These, though, has a lot more history with me. It's proven itself on -12 Celsius weather, batoning through some, I believe, pine, but perhaps other woods as well. In that kind of weather, we had to make a fire, and this guy just batoned through the wood without issues. It really did, and the edge barely suffered any damage. Barely suffered any damage. That was really an eye-opener. Never mind the stainless properties. It will not rust, okay, in a relatively short trip. If you take it, you know, scuba diving, who knows? I suspect damage there, but the way the blade is sealed on the rubber tang, by the way, this is a hard rubber. You can call it whatever you want, but that's what it feels like. The way they match over there is very solid. I cannot perceive water going in there. Maybe with time it'll loosen up, but it's just really good on water and rust in that department. Okay. What else can we talk about? Well, probably a sheath. It's been out of frame all this time. The sheath, while, you know, I used to ponder whether it would be a good sheath or not before pulling the trigger on this knife. By the way, I bought it used at a really good price. I suggest you remain patient and try to secure it, although you'll always pay money for these. The sheath appeared to be really well thought out compared to the Moras, right? Like similar to the Moras. Plastic with a drainage hole, simple, lightweight. However, the belt loop is a little bit too wide. I was saying the knife is so heavy that when it hangs from your belt, it kind of flops around a little bit too much. It shouldn't flop that much. It should be, maybe I could secure a leg strap over here and keep it closer to me. I have other sheaths from other knives that I can also fit this guy into. So the sheath could you know, I may upgrade on it in the future, but so far it's been functional. It's just, it doesn't do the knife justice in my opinion. Functional, but it flops a little bit too much. So final thoughts on the handle. The ergonomics are really spot on, other than the length issue. The flare at the back is a little bit, it exists, so it'll help you put your pinky there, but when you do that, this peak over here, this butt, will dive deep into your hand a little bit too much. Never uncomfortable, it's just, it exists, right? It's not that perfect roundness that you get in a blade design like this, or roundness in that you don't have anything poking up, or some of those bark rivers that are perfectly smooth, okay? However, the flare allows you to come down a little bit, and using the traction on the side, do some chopping. As a matter of fact, I have chopped branches with this. Given the size with those limitations, it does really well in that department. Okay, I think that's what I have to say about the Fallkniven A1. Really amazing piece. If I ever let it go, it would be because, well, I can't think of a reason. I plan on having this knife with me for a long time, really long time. It's my go-to wilderness, hardcore, stainless, strong, survival knife. It really is. It's well paired with a smaller knife, perhaps a folder, and something to light up a fire with, and I think you're set. Perhaps a small saw. But fixed blade knives, I cannot see how you can get any better at this price point. I really haven't seen anything like it. Thank you.